Did you know that what you eat or don't eat within the first hour of waking up could either protect your legs or quietly destroy them? Not later, not next year, but today. Because after 60, your legs don't just get tired, they get drained, slowly, quietly, and often permanently. Every single morning, your body wakes up hungry for repair, for fuel, for something to hold your strength together. And if you feed it the wrong thing or worse, feed it nothing at all, your body begins to pull fuel from itself, and it starts with your legs. Your thighs, your calves, your balance, they're the first to go. No warning, no pain, just one day you notice. It's harder to get up from your chair, you hesitate at the stairs, you grip the railing without even realizing it. And the saddest part, you think it's just age. But it's not, it's the breakfast. Over the last 40 years, I've sat across from hundreds of older patients who believed their legs were giving out because they were simply getting older. But the truth, their breakfasts were making them weaker. Toast with jam, coffee, no food, sugary cereals. So many seemingly innocent choices, and yet they were quietly fueling inflammation, blood sugar crashes, and muscle breakdown before noon. Today, I want to show you exactly which 3 morning foods may be robbing you of your strength and 3 powerful replacements that can help rebuild it. You don't need a pill. You don't need a gym. You don't even need to change your whole life. Just the first meal. If your legs have felt stiff when you wake up, if you've had night cramps, or if standing up from your recliner takes longer than it used to, then this message is for you. Let's begin with the most common breakfast mistake I see in older adults, the one that starts a chain reaction of weakness before you even finish your first cup of coffee. It looks harmless. A slice of white toast, a smear of strawberry jam, maybe a little margarine on top. It's fast, familiar, feels like home. But what if I told you this simple breakfast is silently tearing down the very muscles that help you stand? White bread is stripped of fiber, stripped of nutrients. It enters your bloodstream like sugar, not food. It spikes your blood sugar fast, then crashes it even faster. And when that crash comes, your body searches for emergency fuel. It doesn't find it in fat. It finds it in your muscle, especially the large muscles in your legs. Sugary spreads make things worse. They're pure inflammation, no protein, no vitamins, no purpose except to confuse your system and inflame your joints. I still remember Shirley. She was 76, had 3 falls in 6 months. She told me, "I feel like my legs turned to sandbags by 10 of, Her breakfast, white toast, jam, coffee, every day, for years. She wasn't diabetic. She didn't have arthritis, but her legs were weak, and she didn't know why. When we ran her labs, she showed signs of early muscle breakdown, blood sugar instability, and creeping pre-diabetes, all triggered by one tiny choice each morning. So we made one small change. We replaced the toast and jam with protein, greens, and fiber. And in 3 weeks, she was standing taller, moving faster, and smiling again. You see, leg weakness doesn't begin with a fall. It begins with a fork. And by the time you notice the symptoms, slower walking, harder steps, grabbing chairs to get up, you're already behind. White toast and sugary spreads create a cycle. Blood sugar spikes, energy crashes. Your legs feel heavy. Your balance suffers. You hesitate. You fall. And the cruelest part? You blame yourself. You think, "I'm just getting old." But no, it started with breakfast. And the good news, you can stop it. You can choose something different tomorrow. Because the real enemy isn't your age, it's the habits no one ever warned you about. You wake up tired. You reach for your coffee. You skip breakfast maybe because you're not hungry, maybe because it's just what you've always done. But here's what you don't see. Your body wakes up in a fragile state. It has gone all night without food, without water, without repair. And when you give it nothing but caffeine, your system sounds the alarm. It enters a catabolic state where it starts breaking down tissue for energy. And guess what? It burns first muscle. And where is the most muscle in your body? Your legs. Especially after 60, your body loses the ability to preserve muscle without proper fuel. Hormone levels drop. Repair slows. And if you skip food in the morning, you send a message to your body, I don't need this muscle anymore. That's when the damage begins. Black coffee, 0 calories, 0 protein. It gives you a false burst of energy, but no tools to repair, no nutrients to build with, just stimulation and stress. I remember Mr. Gerald, 68 years old, a retired firefighter, still active, still sharp. But one day he told me, Doc, my legs feel shaky by 10 a.m. I almost fell stepping off my truck. His morning routine, 2 cups of coffee, nothing else until noon. When we tested him, he showed early signs of sarcopenia, a condition where muscle melts away silently, a decade's worth of loss happening in just months. We made one change. He started eating a small, protein-rich breakfast within 30 minutes of waking up, and week by week, his balance returned, his strength came back. He walked like a man 10 years younger. But here's the terrifying part. You won't feel it at first, not the first week, not even the first month. You'll just notice little things, needing both hands to stand up, wobbling a bit on stairs, not catching your foot as you step off the curb. These aren't aging, they're warnings, and when they add up, they don't just threaten your strength, they threaten your freedom. But that can change, because tomorrow you can eat before you drink, you can feed your legs before you lose them. And the next food mistake, it's one you probably thought was healthy. Let me show you. It says heart healthy on the box. It looks cheerful, golden flakes, bright colors, even a few berries on the label. You pour it into a bowl, maybe add a splash of condensed milk. It feels warm, familiar, like something your mother gave you. But what that box doesn't tell you is that you're feeding your body a sugar trap. Most instant cereals are packed with refined grains and hidden sugars, even the ones that say whole grain. They digest fast, spike your blood sugar, and leave your muscles starving. And when your blood sugar crashes, your body scrambles for fuel. Where does it look to your legs? Condensed milk makes it worse. Just 2 tablespoons hold over 20 grams of sugar. No protein, no support. Just a surge of sweetness that floods your bloodstream and inflames the very nerves and vessels your legs rely on to stay strong. I remember Mrs. Lorraine, 73, from Michigan. She loved gardening, but one day, she told me, my legs feel like rubber by noon. We looked at her routine. Breakfast was a bowl of flavored oats and tea with condensed milk every day. Her labs showed rising blood sugar, early signs of nerve damage, and inflammation markers linked to muscle breakdown. She had no idea. She thought she was doing everything right. But sugar doesn't care what the box says. It shuts down your body's ability to build muscle. It slows circulation. It stiffens joints. And worst of all, it robs you of the feeling of control over your legs. Those moments when you trip on a step, when you miss your footing on the sidewalk, when you feel your legs hesitate for just a second too long. That's not bad luck. That's a warning. And here's the part no one says out loud. You've probably had these cereals in your pantry for years. They feel safe, but they're not. They're feeding fatigue, feeding inflammation, feeding weakness. But you can change that, because for every damaging breakfast, there's a healing one. And the best part? You already have the ingredients. Now, let's shift. Let's talk about the foods that fight for your legs. There's a quiet strength sitting in your kitchen right now, the humble boiled egg. For decades, many seniors avoided eggs afraid of cholesterol. But today, science tells a different story. especially for people over 60. When paired with leafy green spinach, kale, arugula, a boiled egg becomes a small but powerful shield against leg weakness, cramping, and instability. Here's why. After sleeping 7 to 9 hours, your body wakes up in a mild starvation state, no calories, no protein. And if you wait too long to feed it, your body starts to draw energy from its reserves, your muscles. Your legs are the biggest source of stored muscle, and that's where the breakdown begins. But one boiled egg gives you nearly every amino acid needed for repair, especially leucine. This is the key amino acid that tells your body it's time to rebuild. Meanwhile, leafy greens bring minerals. Your legs crave magnesium to prevent cramps, potassium for fluid balance, iron and folate for circulation and oxygen delivery. Together, they work like a team. One repairs, one supports, and both protect. I remember Mr. Thomas, 74 years old, a retired postman from Ohio. He told me, "I used to walk 5 miles a day. Now I can't even make it to the mailbox." His breakfast toast, maybe coffee. That's it. We changed it. Just one boiled egg, a small plate of steamed spinach. Every morning, no skipping. 3 weeks later, he told me something I'll never forget. I don't need the railing anymore. I can walk down the driveway without fear. That's not just a change in balance. That's a change in life. Because strong legs don't just help you move, they help you live. With confidence, with dignity, with independence. And it doesn't require fancy meals or expensive powders, just real food, simple food, at the right time. Tomorrow morning, if you can boil water, you can start rebuilding your legs. And if eggs and greens are the foundation, the next breakfast food is the steady hand that keeps your legs from shaking when life gets busy. Let's take a look. There's something about a warm bowl of oatmeal that just feels safe. For many older adults, it brings back memories, quiet mornings, familiar routines, but oatmeal is more than comfort food. Done right, it's medicine for your legs. Let me explain. Your legs aren't just muscles, they're engines. They need steady fuel, not spikes. But most seniors don't know this unstable blood sugar weakens muscle faster than age ever could. Every time your blood sugar rises and crashes, your body searches for emergency fuel. And where does it find it? Your legs. But oatmeal, especially steel-cut or old-fashioned, digests slowly. It releases glucose steadily, feeding your muscles without that dangerous crash. Now, here's where the real magic begins. Add a tablespoon of chia seeds. Tiny but mighty, chia seeds bring magnesium, calcium, potassium, and anti-inflammatory omega-3s. These nutrients do 3 things. They calm overactive nerves, relax tight muscles, and improve circulation, especially in the legs and feet. This means fewer night cramps, less morning stiffness, and more strength when you stand or walk. I remember Mrs. Evelyn, 79, widowed. She told me, "I can't make it around my garden anymore. My legs get tired halfway through." Her breakfast, instant oats and black tea. We changed it. 1 small bowl of steel-cut oats, 1 spoon of chia, a few blueberries. 4 weeks later, she said, "I don't need the porch rail anymore. I walk the whole yard again." This isn't magic. It's science. Muscle science, circulation science, senior science. Because for people over 60, breakfast isn't just a meal. It's an opportunity to repair, to refuel, to rise again. So tomorrow morning, when you reach for breakfast, remember this: a single bowl can either take from your legs or give back what they've lost. And if oatmeal and chia are the steady protectors, then the next food is your morning ignition, a spark that reawakens your legs after sleep and helps them move with purpose again. Let's talk about it. Sometimes the most powerful fix for your legs doesn't come in a bottle. It comes in a warm, orange root that's been waiting in your kitchen drawer. Sweet potatoes. And when paired with a pinch of natural mineral salt like Himalayan or Celtic salt, this duo becomes one of the simplest, most effective ways to help your legs feel light again. Let me explain why. When you sleep, your body slowly loses water and minerals. You wake up mildly dehydrated, and for older adults, that's enough to throw off your balance. Your nerves misfire, your muscles cramp, and your legs, your foundation, begin the day unsteady. That's where sweet potatoes come in. They're not just carbohydrates. They're slow-burning fuel filled with potassium, magnesium, manganese, and vitamin C. These support your muscles, nerves, and blood flow. They help refill the tank after a night of loss. And then there's the salt. But not just any salt. Natural mineral salt. Unlike processed table salt, mineral salt contains over 80 trace elements, sodium, calcium, magnesium, exactly what your muscles need to contract properly and avoid those sudden, stabbing cramps. Now imagine this simple habit. Half a steamed sweet potato, lightly salted, warm, gentle, nourishing, followed by a glass of water. For your legs, that's not breakfast, that's recovery. I'll never forget Mr. Al Jenkins, 77 years old, a Navy veteran. He told me, "Doc, every morning I felt like my legs were made of concrete." We made one small change, just one. Before any other food, he started with half a sweet potato, sprinkled with mineral salt. After 1 week, he came back and said, "I don't shuffle anymore, I walk." That's what this food can do. It doesn't just feed your muscles, it restores confidence. Because when your legs work, you move through the day on your own terms. You bend, you climb, you say yes to life again. So tomorrow, before the pills, before the errands, give your legs what they've been waiting for: fuel, electrolytes, a second chance to stand strong. And if you combine this with what we've already shared, the eggs, the greens, the oats, the chia, you're not just eating, you're rebuilding. Now, we've almost reached the final step. There's one more piece. The part that turns these foods into a full healing protocol. And it's simpler than you think. Let's close this journey in the final chapter. By the time we reach our 60s, so many things feel out of our hands. Aches that appear without reason, energy that slips away by noon. Legs that once felt strong now hesitate on stairs or wobble after rest. And it's easy to whisper to ourselves, maybe this is just aging. But that's not the whole story. Because what you choose in the first hour of your morning can shape every hour that follows. We've talked about the quiet dangers: white toast with jam, black coffee alone, sugary cereals that promise heart health but steal your strength in silence. You now understand how these small habits trigger inflammation, weaken circulation, and break down muscle, especially in your legs. But you also hold the solution. 3 powerful foods: simple, natural, affordable. A boiled egg with leafy greens to rebuild muscle from the inside out. A warm bowl of oats with chia seeds to stabilize your blood sugar and soothe your nerves. And half a sweet potato with mineral salt to rehydrate and restore the balance your legs need. These are not trends. They are tools. Real nutrition that speaks the language of your body. And it's not too late. Because your body even now is listening, and it will respond to every spoonful of strength you offer it. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need a strict diet, a gym pass, or fancy supplements. You just need to begin with one bowl, one bite, one new decision. I've seen it happen. Men and women who thought their walking days were behind them, who feared another fall, another loss of balance, another moment of needing help. But they made a small shift, and within weeks they stood taller, they walked farther, they smiled more. Because they realized something powerful: they were not helpless, they were healing. So tomorrow morning, Before the noise of the day takes over, pause. Look at your plate and ask yourself, is this feeding my fear or feeding my strength? The answer lies in your hands. And if you've been feeling this too, not weakness, but a quiet question rising inside you, then stay with us. Subscribe to Senior Fit, where growing older doesn't mean growing smaller. It means growing wiser, stronger, and still moving forward. You've just discovered the breakfast foods that protect your legs, preserve your balance, and rebuild your independence. In our next video, we'll uncover 3 gentle daily movements that activate these nutrients, ignite circulation, and help restore the mobility of your younger years. So, if you're ready to keep walking forward, your journey is just beginning.